Project on Community Engagement by Aude Mailleux. Every day of our lives, we checked our phone. We check the news, we check the weather, but one thing that we check the most is our social media. On our social media, we can find different things: jokes, updates on our family, updates on our friend's life. We even can get some messages from whoever we'd like to get messages from. But one thing that can also be found on our social medias is politics update. They can be fake, they can be real, but who are we going to trust? Can we trust our social media when it comes to politics? Are we sure at 100% that everything that we find on social media is real? I was able to get a point of view from 5 different people around the world. Here is what Katie Ferguson from California in the little town of Atascadero thinks about politics and social media.
Social media can be used in politics in a couple different ways. A lot of people, from what I see over my social media, is that people spread awareness about what's going on, not just with the presidency. It could be about women's rights or equality through race or gender. Social media could also be used to spread false media, false articles on certain topics. It really matters how one portrays using their social media for spreading these things. It could be used in a good or a bad way. It just depends on how that person wants to be seen or have other people look at things. It really depends. A lot of people think social media is used for the bad spreading of news or spreading of politics that is false or incorrect, when in reality it usually comes from a trusted source and could overall be a good movement for a certain thing, such as equality or women's rights.
From what we heard, Katie Ferguson thinks that social media is a good idea for politics. It can help us to understand better, and it can open our eyes on some things. Like she told us, we can see that politics plays a role in social media when it comes to equality and for the gender and race of the people, as well as women's rights. On social media, the news that would be spread might not be fake but misinterpreted by people. It can also be explained with words that might not be always positive and that might make other people angry. The next opinion will be said by Emeline Thibault, who lives in Belgium in the town of Mons.
There are many political changes that came about due to social media. There is now internet voting, which could lead to more people participating in elections. This could make social media even more influential, as people could literally vote moments after reading the latest comments or link they found on Facebook or Twitter.
One big thing that recently happened is the election of 2020. With COVID-19 that hit us in 2019, the people were not able to get out of their house, either because of quarantine or because they were sick or because the government didn't allow it. Like Emeline said, social media played a big role into the elections. Thanks to the social media and the technology that we have now, we were able to be voting by internet. Every social media platform had somewhere a tab that would say, "Go vote now." Due to these new possibilities, a lot of people around the US made the decision to vote with the social media. And now our next judgment on this topic will be Chris Lane Samperio, who lives in Riverview in Florida.
Okay, so you want my thoughts on politics on social media and whether or not they're good or bad? Well, what I think, especially with the recent Facebook scandals and stuff like that, I think it does have a negative impact, mostly because people are very biased to what they see online, unless they know and take the time to investigate. Their political views can be very slanted based on what the companies do to boost their political views. I mean, yeah, it's really a two-way street when it comes to social media playing into politics as well as politics playing into social media.
Like I said in the beginning of this project, social media can have a positive as well as a negative effect on politics. It can show the bad and the good side, and most of the time, people or industries are influencing it. Now, we will be listening to what Lance Clement has to say.
Social media is a big deal for politics because it lets politicians speak directly to the people without having to set up a press conference or any of that, and it lets them show a character to the audience. Probably not themselves, because politicians don't like to show who they truly are. Part of the job is lying, so they don't want to. But it lets them show a pre-scripted character and a personality to people, and lets them not only talk directly to people, but to connect with people. And they're able to show themselves outside of politics. They're able to show their opinions on things when normally they wouldn't.
As we listen to Lance's explanation, we can understand that political parties and people working in politics can play a role in the social media. The fact that people working as politicians have social media can help them communicate with the people around the USA. Social media help the politician to express themselves in front of multiple people at one time. Now we will be listening to what Emily Roquet from France in the town of Saint-Marie-sur-Mer has to say about this topic.
Looking at politics on social media, we can find a lot of things that people say without checking the right source. It usually isn't from trusted source. People need to be careful to what they actually read on the social media about politics or anything else. It can it can sometimes be fake.
Like Emily said, the sources can be wrong as well as they can be right. We often need to check our sources before trusting a source that we see on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Overall, politics plays a big role into social media. You can see politics in social media everywhere you go, if it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even sometimes Snapchat. It helps the world to be aware of what's going on politically in their own country, and sometimes even in other countries. One thing that there is to remember is always check the sources. Always make sure that the thing that we find on the social media or anywhere on Instagram or Facebook or even internet, basically, we need to make sure that the sources are right before making any judgment. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day.